Yeah, like I like my cheese moldy, bro.
Yo, when she saw that, she must have been jumping, bro. She must have been like, yo, yes!
So, Roseanne and Barb.
Oh my God!
Bro, going at you guys or at Beast, you could get so many likes.
Lunchly was supposed to be a no-brainer. 3 of the biggest names on the internet, Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul, teaming up to fix kids' lunches. The pitch was simple, clean, and honestly kind of genius on paper. Take the Lunchables formula that every kid already knows, swap out the sugary drink for Prime, shave off some sugar, and market it as a smarter option for parents who still want convenience. It sounded like Prime, but in the lunch aisle, and at first, it absolutely worked. When Lunchly teasers dropped in late 2023, retailers moved fast. Walmart cleared shelf space almost instantly. Target locations reportedly put in early orders before the public even knew what the product tasted like. Influencer hype did what it always does. It manufactured demand before the product had a chance to fail on its own. On podcasts, the founders were already talking about 9-figure projections, maybe someday, but soon. Internally, this was being framed as Prime 2.0, another creator brand that would dominate a category and stay there for years. But food isn't merch, and that's where everything started to crack. Because unlike drinks or hoodies or chocolate bars, food has rules. Labels matter, ingredients matter. Parents actually read the back of the box. And kids? Kids don't care about marketing if the food tastes weird. When Lunchly finally hit shelves, people did what the founders probably didn't expect. They flipped the box over. The first red flag was sodium. One of the turkey kits clocked in around 800 milligrams of sodium.
When I saw Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI announce they're launching a Lunchables competitor, I wasn't surprised when I saw it had seed oils, processed sugar, and a bunch of bull.
For adults, that's already high. For kids, it's borderline ridiculous. Nutritionists online immediately pointed out that for an average child, 800 milligrams of sodium is too much that single Lunchly kit could take up close to 1/3 of their recommended daily sodium intake before dinner even happened. And the 25% less sugar claim? Technically true, but only if you cherry-picked a specific Lunchables combo that included a dessert and a juice. When compared kit to kit, the difference was tiny. The kind of difference that looks impressive in a headline but meaningless in real life. Then came the ingredient lists. Real cheese was one of the big selling points, but parents quickly noticed a familiar pattern. Sodium phosphates, preservatives, stabilizers. Nothing illegal, nothing shocking, but also nothing that justified the wellness framing. This wasn't some fresh farm-to-table solution. It was still ultra-processed food wearing influencer branding. TikTok did what TikTok does best. Blind taste tests started popping up. Kids were choosing regular Lunchables over Lunchly more often than not. If your upgrade loses to the original in blind tests. And while all of this was happening, the marketing didn't slow down. Mr. Beast, Logan, and KSI kept posting like nothing was wrong.
Lunchly versus Lunchables.
With Lunchly, you get double the amount of liquid.
Prime has no sugar added, more electrolytes, and more B vitamins.
Crunch Bar.
Whoa.
Feastables Crunch
Yeah!
Bar. Our pizza uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese.
Ooh.
We're also 30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar.
Freezer aisle content. We changed the game clips. More hype, more noise. It felt like the strategy was to outrun criticism rather than address it. Then the conversation shifted from nutrition to safety. Independent testing surfaced showing trace amounts of lead in some kits, still within FDA limits, and that part matters. But pediatric doctors were quick to remind people that any lead exposure in children is bad, add in concerns about phthalates, chemicals commonly associated with plastic packaging, and suddenly Lunchly wasn't just not healthy enough, it was uncomfortable. But nothing did more damage than the mold. Videos started circulating showing fuzzy green spots on cheese slices.
These are molded. Okay, so these ones are supposed to be good until December, and we just got them from the store. It says used by December 8th, 2024, and today's date is October 16th. So these are supposed to be good for like another 2 months. This is molded. That's mold. This is not safe, especially like kids that are so young. They may not know what mold looks like, so they might just eat it.
Not one clip, not one store, multiple locations, different states, different batches. It wasn't someone leaving food open too long. It was sealed products. And this is where trust really collapsed, because there was no loud recall, no urgent statement, no, we messed up, here's what happened.
Yeah, on the mold thing, here's the thing. We, every single Lunchly with cheese meat is USDA inspected. There is no mold when it leaves our factory. Like, we have the highest QC standards imaginable. Like, what do we have? Why would we ship that out? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? And we obviously have the best experts in the world. I mean, even once these things come out, I mean, we brought even more. They're pouring up and down the lines, making sure everything's good. It's just, the thing is, here's a context a lot of people leave out. Look at, I don't want to name specific brands but take a specific brand that comes into your mind when you think of something like Lunchly, something that's very similar, specific brand, I don't know, other brands, competitors, and Google their name and put the word mold behind it. You'll see thousands upon thousands of examples. And that, I think, is a key context a lot of people leave out in this, because they're acting like this is just a thing with us.
Instead, Lunchly quietly disappeared from shelves under what insiders described as a quality hold. In other words, pull it, don't tweet it. Each founder reacted differently. KSI joked about it. Logan talked about moisture issues and supply chains on podcasts, stressing that millions were still eating Lunchly safely. Mr. Beast went quiet, which, for someone whose brand is built on transparency, spoke volumes. What was missing wasn't information, it was accountability. Sales numbers tell the rest of the story. Early projections talked about billion-dollar potential. Realistically, year one sales landed closer to $90 million. That's not nothing. But compared to expectations, it was a miss, a big one. By the following quarters, sales reportedly dropped by double digits. Stores didn't reorder. Parents didn't trust it. Kids didn't ask for it again. Lunchly went from being front and center to being quietly shuffled to the back, or removed entirely. And then the internet turned. DanTDM's tweet hit like a hammer. Calling out creators for selling low-quality products to kids struck a nerve because it wasn't dramatic. It was simple and honest. KSI's response didn't land.
While showing his toys that he sold to kids. How does this benefit your fans, Dan? Now, obviously, people didn't realize that I was shining a mirror in his face. Instead, they were like,
wait, you did the same as Dan. You made toys with Tube Heroes.
And yes, that's fair, but I'm not the one complaining.
Well, okay then. He was talking about food, not merchandise and toys.
And I'm like, okay, sure. Let's keep moving the goalposts. But okay, did I reply to this? He was sponsored, then promoted, and made a whole video on Munch Pack, a monthly sub box full of food and candy to his Minecraft audience full of kids. Now what?
Logan's defensive posts didn't land. Even Mr. Beast's explanation threads felt more like marketing copy than real reflection. After that, Lunchly didn't explode. It faded. No grand shutdown announcement, no redemption arc, just silence. Which might be the loudest ending possible, because Lunchly didn't fail because people hate influencers. It failed because food doesn't care about hype. Sodium doesn't care about branding. Mold doesn't care about storytelling. And parents care more than fans do. By the time Lunchly stopped trending, the damage was already done. And that's the part people don't always understand about brand collapses like this. They don't usually end with a bang. They end with silence, with products quietly disappearing from shelves, with websites still technically online but never updated, with social accounts going dormant, not because the company shut down, but because saying anything would only make it worse. That's exactly where Lunchly landed, and as of now, Lunchly isn't officially dead. There's been no shutdown announcement, no apology video, no "we're discontinuing the product" press release. If you look hard enough, you can still find the website. You might even spot a stray kit in the wild at a random retailer or through online resale. But the dream they sold, the billion-dollar kids' lunch empire, that's gone. And the reason it's gone isn't just mold, sodium, or chemistry buzzwords. Those were the triggers, not the cause. The real issue was trust, because Lunchly wasn't marketed like a normal food product. It wasn't sold as, here's a convenient lunch option, judge it like any other. It was sold as better, healthier, smarter, a step up from Lunchables. Parents weren't just buying crackers and meat, they were buying into the idea that 3 massive creators had done the homework for them. Once that trust cracked, everything unraveled fast. Parents don't forgive quietly when it comes to their kids. You can mess up merch, NFTs, drinks, even chocolate bars. People shrug and move on. Food is different, food is personal, food is safety. And the moment parents felt like they'd been sold marketing instead of honesty, the conversation flipped permanently. And then there was the cultural shift. DanTDM wasn't just a random critic, he represents an older generation of YouTube creators, ones who built trust with audiences before influencer products became the norm. When he spoke up, it wasn't framed as drama, It felt like someone saying what a lot of people were already thinking but didn't know how to articulate. Jacksepticeye backing that sentiment only amplified it. Suddenly, this wasn't about Lunchly. It was about creator responsibility, about whether YouTubers should be selling food to kids at all, about how far the influencer economy has drifted from make cool stuff into monetize every inch of attention. And Lunchly became the perfect case study because it wasn't evil, it wasn't malicious, it wasn't some grand conspiracy. It was rushed, overconfident, and built on hype instead of fundamentals. The exact formula that works for viral content, but fails miserably in industries where regulations, safety, and consistency actually matter. The irony is that Lunchly probably could have survived if it had launched smaller, if it had been honest about what it was, if it hadn't leaned so hard into healthier for kids language, if the response to early criticism had been transparent instead of defensive, if the mold issue had been handled loudly and immediately instead of quietly swept away. But influencer brands aren't built to slow down, they're built to dominate fast or move on. And that's exactly what seems to have happened. None of the founders have publicly doubled down. None have seriously tried to relaunch or reframe the product. There's no Lunchly 2.0 announcement, no reformulation tour, no parent-focused campaign. That tells you everything you need to know. Lunchly didn't just lose sales, it lost belief. And once belief is gone, especially in a product aimed at kids, there's no algorithm strong enough to bring it back. So where does that leave Lunchly today? Technically alive, practically irrelevant. A product that exists more as a cautionary tale than a competitor. A reminder that influencer power has limits, that food isn't content, that kids aren't just another demographic to optimize. And maybe that's the most important takeaway here, because the downfall of Lunchly isn't satisfying because it failed. It's satisfying because facts beat hype, sodium beat storytelling, mold beat marketing, parents beat influencers. And that's rare. So now I want to hear from you. Did Lunchly ever deserve the hype in the first place? Was this just another case of creators moving too fast? Or should influencer food brands aimed at kids not exist at all? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into influencer and YouTuber drama that actually matters. This space moves fast, and the next collapse is always closer than it looks.